Joining me now, my panel, former Liberal MP Nicole Flint and Pauline Hanson's Chief of Staff James Ashby. Well, this one's extraordinary, Nicole. Revealed today that one of the anti-Israel activists who doxed the details of hundreds of Jewish creatives, she has got herself a contract with the Australian Human Rights Commission, paid for by taxpayers, to put anti-racism content in primary schools. Now, her name is Elsa Tuit Rosenberg. She's Jewish herself, but she's posted nearly 200 stories of Instagram relating to doxing. Pretty ferocious language here. Let these effing Zionists, she says, know no effing peace. Now, how on earth does she get a contract like this?
Precisely. The Human Rights Commission have a lot of questions to answer, Peter, as does the Minister. Now, I'm pretty sure this comes under the Attorney General's portfolio. Let's just remind viewers what doxing means. It means the unauthorised release of personal information such as your home address or your phone number or perhaps where you work. And that's some of the things that have happened here to target people for a specific reason, in this case because they're Jewish. So this has happened. It should be a criminal offence, and I understand Labor has brought forward legislation or draft legislation to address that because it is reprehensible behaviour. But the Human Rights Commission, knowing that they have employed somebody, that taxpayers' money is paying for a person who engaged in this activity, is completely reprehensible, unforgivable, and she should be sacked. And the Attorney General needs to intervene immediately.
James, what's going on in Queensland? You're going to be the first state, the only other place is the ACT, and the ACT is local council, let's be honest. First state to go down the path of pill testing at music festivals. I call them music festivals very loosely. They're just drug dealing, gigs, I suppose. What I find extraordinary is we want junk food advertising to tell people, don't eat this, you'll get fat. We're trying to ban vapes in this country, but it's open slather if you want illegal drugs.
It's remarkable, isn't it, that a Labor government has chosen to do this. You'll have police officers just sitting outside the festival trying to control crowds, and yet within the confines of that festival will be scientists working out whether a drug is safe for you to ingest or not. No wonder the coppers have had a gutful and they can't replace the ones that are retiring. We're going to lose 30% of our police due to retirement over the next 10 years, and they're finding it difficult to replace them. Any wonder? All those things that we are supposed to teach as adults, as parents, that drugs are bad, there's something missing. And I'm not quite sure whether it's poor parenting or the fact that we've now got excise tax on alcohol that's just way beyond people's means to be able to afford a good time without risking their life. That's what this comes down to. These are harsh drugs. No one knows what's in them, and you are putting your life at risk. I'm sorry, if it was my niece or nephew, I'd have to say to my sisters, they chose to take the drugs. They chose to dice with death. If they lose their life, I'm sorry, it's on you. You know the risks.
Yeah, I'm a bit hardliner now, more and more. Let's go to the detainee issue, Nicole. It hasn't gone away. The reports we've got and confirmation from the Minister yesterday, ankle bracelets have been removed, cases have been settled because they didn't want to lose the case in court. But we find at least 5 detainees out in the community have had their monitoring devices removed, including a convicted rapist. Now, Labor's trying to avoid, interesting before you mentioned, it's not just the Human Rights Commission, Peter, you say, it's also the Minister. Well, this is another example. Labor trying to say, it's not us now, it's not us, it's a board of bureaucrats, the Community Protection Board, that's making these sorts of decisions. I don't know how Claire O'Neill and Andrew Giles are still in a job.
Precisely, Peter. The last time we saw this level of incompetence in relation to detainees was during the Rudd-Gillard-Rudd era. And quite frankly, Prime Minister Albanese needs to sack his ministers, or he can let the Australian people do it for him. And believe me, I think there are a lot of us out here who will be fighting very hard for that outcome at the next election, because this incompetence is next level, and it has been from start to finish. They had due warning that the High Court was going to make the decision that released these detainees into the community, 4 or 5 months before the ruling was handed down. They did nothing, and it has been an absolute disaster ever since. He needs to sack them, and I cannot believe that he hasn't.
Yeah, it's gutless. No spine for the Prime Minister. James, Biden is backing down. The administration is winding back their vehicle emission standards. Now, surely, if the big marketplace of US automotive is moving, we're going to have to move here. Surely Chris Bowen's going to have to back down.
Well, you'd think so, but Chris Bowen is as stubborn as they get, and I don't think he necessarily will. That problem is, though, unless we do back down, we won't be able to take cars from America within a short period of time. There are plenty of good vehicles with internal combustion engines that use very little fuel. We should be looking at those. The hybrids are perfectly fine. Don't go after these crazy models. People are finding it difficult enough to save for a deposit on a house, let alone having to save a new deposit for a futuristic car that yet hasn't proven itself, like battery or some of these more expensive hybrids. So it's crazy. I hope Labor come to their senses, but I don't think it's going to need a change of government to do that.
Right, I've got to leave it there. James, you're out there on the campaign trail. I can see that there ahead of the October state election. James, of course, is a candidate for One Nation. Thank you for your time. Nicole, great to see you as always. Have a good weekend, both of you.